Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and talk about them. Today's episode is a bonus episode chatting all about a new single take horror film that has its world premiere at FrightFest Glasgow next month. My name is Ben Errington, and today I'm joined by director Adam O'Brien and producer Philip Kalin-Hajdu to discuss Bury the Devil. Welcome to the show, Adam and Philip. Hello.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No problem at all. Congratulations on the film.
Thanks. I hope you enjoy it. It was enjoyable to make too. So,
I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. Enjoyable to make. I am so excited to chat to somebody who's made a single take movie because I think for so long I have been with single take films, I'm always like, how? Why? How? So now I'm so glad to be able to actually talk to someone about it. Obviously, I won't expect you to reveal all of the secrets, all the tricks of the trade, but I'm still very interested to know a lot about the making of the film. Before we get started, let me just very quickly give our audiences some details on the film. So the premise is when a hospice nurse finds herself trapped with a dementia patient, she begins to suspect something else is wrong with the woman, something otherworldly, and must fight the night to survive. That's
it's about
about.
that.
Who wrote that? Sounds great.
All happening in real time. This is what is great, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we won't just talk about the sort of the single take stuff, but that stuff is really fascinating. So I guess I will, off the bat, just quickly just say, why did you decide to make this particular film a single take film?
Um, it's a long story short, okay, but the origin of that is very simple. I wanted to do something so different from my first feature, Mom, that was, very dark. It's just very depressing, so great, everything, but it's like, oh my God. I was in this looping myself, with that movie. And I was like, I want to do something like at 100% opposite of that as much as possible. And I said, okay, why not to do something like this roller coaster, light B type film. I love those genre film like exorcism film, possession movies, and stuff. All those kind of things. And I was like thinking about that, and it's actually our DP who came to me at one day and said, "Oh, you should." I just came up from a TV show. I just finished a one shot episode. You should do that as a movie. You can make it. Blah blah blah. And my response was, "Are you fucking nuts?" This is like, how hard it is to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not on just the technical aspect of it, but on the story accept too. The aspect of the story, like movies, you have a character's arc. You need to start with that place. You need to move that place and feeling that things moving forward and unfolding and blah 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 and so on and so forth. So you need to overcome with something. And in every movies that you can watch, not every, but most of them that really do a single take in real time. It's more about the spectacles of it and more about the adventure of it and having a little things about characters here and there than just like character development and horror development and it's never really been touched in that degree. I would say that. So I was like, "Are you crazy, man? I don't want to do that. I don't know. I don't have any ideas for that." And I hang up like that.
No,
2 days
thank
after,
you.
yeah, and I said, "Hey, man." 2 days after I called him, I said, "Yeah, I thought about it. Maybe it can be interesting. Maybe we can." Do at the beginning, if I remember, was home invasion. Then I wanted to do a little bit more.
Mm.
He told me about the location, that location actually that we have in a movie that is owned by a friend. We have access to that place. So I was like, hey, let's do this in that place. Let me think about the story. And along the way, it grows on me. I'm like,
Won you
okay,
round.
yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's do a kind of horror possession film. I spoke with Phil about that, and it's like, oh yeah, that can be interesting, different, and blah blah blah. And everybody was, I think I was nuts to do a one shot film. Say, how the hell are you gonna do that? I said, let me think about it. Let's see how we can go with that. And see, that's the issue with one take is like how you nail down a story about that. And
Mm.
now you try to do character development and backstory development, and say, I cannot put that in the movie that much. So how do you do that? So we
Yeah.
develop way bigger story, a way bigger thing. And it's like, okay, let's divide it in three sections. Let's do that first, see how it goes, and if it goes well, let's do the other section of the story, basically.
Mm.
So just like working around that part, and it was just crazy.
It just puts,
Like,
I
well,
always think it just puts so much pressure on everyone. That's what I get worried about. I feel like if you're like, I don't know, an actor and you haven't done much acting and then suddenly you're in a one take film and you're like, well, everything kind of rides on me getting this line delivery right, etc., etc. What was your reaction, Phil, when Adam came to you with this idea?
Yeah, I also hung up. Um,
true story.
the no, it's funny. I thought it would be a lot of fun once he came forward with the story of a possession unfolding in real time. It felt a little bit more, achievable, authentic, from the perspective of the characters who are seeing this happen and cannot understand what's going on. And by putting it through the eyes of the hospice nurse, where she's living this experience, it made it more manageable. And in fact, from a producing perspective, I found this process easier than other projects because it forced us into way more rehearsal. We pre-shot the film 2 or 3 times with Adam and some other colleagues, and then by the time we got to set, the actors loved the opportunity every day to rehearse 2, 3, 4, 5 times
Mm.
in the morning and then shoot throughout the evening. And then Adam reassured all of us that he had a way of stitching in, if there was, we would go as long as possible, but if there was a hiccup,
Mm.
instead of having to redo everything, there was a way of stitching it in that kept the natural flow of the one take. So
Sure.
that made us feel better right off the top, and we just got lucky with great actors who were willing to throw
Mm.
everything they had into this, um, over and over and over again.
Yeah,
It
because
was
it
fun.
always, I guess it feels like it's almost theatre as well, isn't it? It feels closer to theatre perhaps than filmmaking in
Yes.
terms of the performances as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a theater workshop, that when we did it, and basically that's the thing that I said to those actors is like, hey guys, you need to, I'm not stick to the words then you're gonna say, but more about. So if you stumble on something, whatever, just continue, just move forward. It's a one shot, So we do a single take as much as possible.
Mm.
So I think the challenge was to have actors who just like can memorize this thing, but take it off the pressure of oh, I need to say exactly that word or that thing precisely helped a lot also. And we can play and be a bit more
Sure.
malleable on the story and the way and the rhythm, basically. I think that was the other challenge. And like Phil said, the point was to do all those shots as long as possible, manageable, possibly, but as possible, because the house so has also some sort of challenges
Yeah.
in there. Strangely enough, there's just just a side note is about that is like that's a perfect example. You have stuff in the house that you think then, oh, obviously you go to a dark place, you're gonna make a cut there. No, it's just like because the camera cannot fit in that place.
Mm.
So you feel then, oh, we're going dark. No, it's not because I want to do a cut. It's just because I'm like just shifting the corridor and the camera did not fit like properly. So that was hard, 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 just for those little details. So I said, okay, if there's a problem, well, I can do something there at that moment. If there's a problem in the performance, the rhythm, or whatever. And the few places that I did some kind of digital stitch. It's not in dark place like the movie Rope or 1917 or stuff like that. So I did it in your face. You don't see it. I can
Yeah.
tell you that just at the beginning you have
I
so
mean,
many places that you cannot see where it is.
I definitely didn't see any. I think audiences probably find it fun as a bit of a game to try and spot where a potential cut could be. With that in mind, though, with what you said about the location, how did you find like the perfect location? And were there any, what kind of things did you have to do with the space in order to make it, to facilitate a shoot like this?
Well, the place is it's a cabin basically owned by one of our friend. He had that cabin for a long time, so we knew that place. So just that it helps a lot because we can go on set anytime we want, so we don't have to. Usually you need to pay for those rears or the owner sometimes say, no, 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 not that time, just a week before, whatever, what you need. But us, like for months, I could go there, and for a year before, I took a lot of pictures and videos, and so you can write and see what's going on, and also on probably on producing perspective is like, okay, where do we put the crew? So it's just knowing where we're going really in advance, not like a week before or something like that, like normal shoot. It's like, no, it's a year of knowing about the major piece of the puzzle. How do we make that happen? And that location was perfect. And basically, we built a script around that location, which is
Sure,
and some
sure.
sort of a challenge, because sometimes you have ideas. It's like, oh, that would be great to do, but no, the wall, we cannot move the wall. It's a whole
Mm.
house. Same thing when we go outside in the movie. I needed to find a way. I could not. I wanted to do it for real, but could not take out the window because it's an old house.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so we need to cheat here. Obviously, figure out a way to cheat. There are places then we're really getting out for real and getting inside like for real and through stuff. But there's some places like, no, 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 we cannot do that. We don't have enough money to just say, hey, we have to take it out your window, the all ancestry window, and put it back. Oh, it's going to be pristine. No worries. Yeah. If you do, my friend, you'll see like, ooh, no, don't do that.
No, thank you. I guess the big question would be, would you do it again? Would you do a single take movie again, or have you learned enough from this one to maybe not touch it again as a format?
Um, I will say this. It's a great thing that I have in my resume. Okay, I did it.
Mm.
Check. Okay, and I will do it again. Probably not in that form. In the because this movie is the trilogy. So basically, that's the first of three. The second
Oh,
one is
okay.
yeah. The second one is an origin story. That was a Bury the Devil origin. So basically, what happened before. So everything what you're hearing, the tapes and everything, and it's why this is happening, why are we getting to that place. So I said, I don't want to do it in a one shot again, but I want to do it just a little bit differently. So
Mm.
basically, it's going to be more long segment than what I'm going to stitch together instead.
Yeah, like chapter. The movie's like broken up into chapters almost.
Mm.
Exactly. So Phil's writing that one. So we are so constantly we're talking about that and how we can make it and what did we learn from that movie, then we can apply to that one. So it's
Mm.
not going to be a one continuity, real time thing, but
Sure.
more like, oh, we have a 10-minute, that's cool. Try to be authentic as much as possible. We have tricks, tools, then we learn because it's not an everyday thing you do. It's not instinctively say, oh, let's do one shot film. So it's that or one shot take, a single take of something. So it's not intuitive for filmmaking. So we need to apply it properly this time. And
Mhm.
the third movie will be kind of a blend of those two techniques, basically.
I see. I see. And you're right. And you're right in the Origins film, Phil. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost done. Was supposed to be done already, but you know how these things go.
Of course. How's the process been for this particular film?
A lot of fun actually to be able to break up the script into chapters that
Mm.
each match a take. Um, it's the ellipses between each chapter and kind of what's unsaid to get the story going forward. I find really interesting. To end each chapter in a manner that when you jump forward in the story, it's you inherently know what happened. That's been the most fun. It's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun, and we get to explore, everything, as Adam said, everything that's on the tapes in Bury the Devil. You hear their daughter, you hear the exorcism from
Mm.
the past, you hear all the reasons that they got to this place, and now you finally get to see it and add context and color to it.
Mm. Sounds great. Absolutely.
Yeah, every of those movies have their own little thing. So basically, this one is a possession genre. Then we know the origin would be more the exorcism genre, and the third one would be more the cult genre. And every of those
I
movies have
see.
something. This one is about the guilt, so it's about
Hmm.
the guilt of overcome on something like the guilt of the past and everything. The first one would be more about it's more kind of a the greed, so basically that like because of the greed of something, this is what happened to you. And Phil described it very perfectly. You can say it more than me, Phil. It's the worst day of parenting, like at work.
Yeah, it's a bring your daughter, the worst possible version of bring your kid to work day.
Yeah.
I like it. I
When
love
they're
it.
digging up the statue and they brought their daughter along,
Yeah,
and
of
it's,
course.
I love it.
you know,
And the third world is going to be like more about the redemption of all this, and so the conclusion of
Hmm.
all that whole thing.
Is this the
So
first time?
because the reason why is because when we did the first movie was like I said, is like, okay, how do we do
Hmm.
normal script with that? It's hard as shit, and it's not like an intuition and everybody has, it's not something like coming like this, so we
Hmm.
come from old school, the way that we need to make movies, the normal way to make movies.
Hmm.
So, and not everybody on the set around us did that. It's pretty like not an everyday thing. So we're like, okay, so we want to tell more about stories. So we say, okay, let's do a beginning with the movie and just an ending with the normal thing. So if you see the three movies, it's kind of a three-act thing, So beginning, middle, end.
I'm assuming this is the first time you've tackled a trilogy then.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Not expected. I like to answer back to your question of if I'm gonna do another one take. No, just different.
Yeah, just different. Yeah. The next challenge, a trilogy, Oh, I've done a one take. What could possibly be the next challenge? Oh, a trilogy.
And
You're not really,
all my I just blame my DP. That's it. That's his fault.
there are
That's
no
it.
small challenges, it seems. In terms of casting the characters, especially your leads, like how was that process? And again, how did you get them on board with the single take nature of the film as well?
We went through casting, right?
yeah, yeah. There's, we wanted to work with local actors that were game, that we had access to quickly here in Montreal, and to celebrate. And a lot of the local actors, especially in the English community, don't have opportunities to lead films, and we felt that this was a perfect place to start, where we can work with people that we've long admired and have fun with them. And so that's, they were very game and very excited. And, the theater, to your point, Ben, the theater element was really attractive
Mm.
for them, or to them. Yeah, it was simple. We had people in mind from the local industry, uh, that we presented to the casting director. The casting director then brought other names to the table. And I would say, in the end, we all of us were aligned on who was chosen, and they did a lovely job. It's fun. They sunk their teeth into it.
Mm.
They went all the way in the fun, sort of silly element of it, while still staying true to their character. It was
Mm.
it was cool. It was cool to watch them work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seems like a
they felt, and then Emmanuel and Don actually they felt like, okay, this is something totally different. Let's do this. And because they overcome challenges, we shot at night. So, so all the of them
yeah.
is like, oh, we need to remember everything and also shooting at night. Are you crazy? But they embrace it and they love it. So that
Mm.
was so now they I really enjoy working with them. Seriously, all the cast, and it was a very 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 fun shoot. A very
Mm.
very fun shoot for everybody. The crew too. The crew was like, yeah, we shooting at night, and it's a nightmare shooting a night shoot. But everybody was like, yeah, but it's cool. We're doing something different.
Mm.
So that's the challenge. That's what it's cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cannot. Me personally, I'm like, okay, if I need to do a kind of that type of movie that is a little bit silly, a little bit over the top, and we having fun. Okay, I need to have a more reason. Yes, of course, because we have a bigger story. There's a reason why we do it in that way. By the way, it's not like, and that's the secret. You need to
Hmm.
watch everything else we're
Yep.
doing, but there's a real reason. But it's always about challenging ourselves as filmmakers. At some point, it's like, okay, I can tell a great story, but why not to do something a little bit more fun, also on the side, and so we're a handful of people who do that type of thing, so especially with the budget we had and the way that we did it, and like not a lot of people do that,
No, no,
so
no, of course not.
it's fun. It's a challenge.
And it must be good for the crew as well. I guess like being able to work through on a show instead of all that stop start nature of filmmaking. I guess it must be pretty fun to be able to just do one big take. And it's just a thrill, I guess, of as you mentioned, it being a bit like a roller coaster, a bit like a ride. You're just there going with the flow, and then seeing what happens.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
very little downtime, and that it helped. It made everybody, everybody says that, you're going on a film set, it's like summer camp, and you become a quick family, and then you kind of disperse. This really brought that to the nth degree because there was very little downtime. We were all like this moving caravan, following the camera, getting things done, moving things in and out of the way, constantly prepping for the next scene. It was great. It was fun. Small crew, good crew, and fun was the key element here.
Mm.
Especially because we are so remote, very, very remote. So everybody like didn't go back home. So everybody was in a hotel or Airbnb or something like that. So
Mm.
obviously the fact that you're not staying, don't have the factor of going back home. The only purpose then you're at this place is like, oh, I need to make that movie. I need to tell that story. So everybody is more like engaged actually to make it because like, yo, waking up in the morning, what do? You go on set and you talk with
Mm.
everybody and you're just bounding with your teammates, So it's like, it's just cool. So
Yeah.
so that helps also a lot to have that kind of a
Mm.
bounding thing.
Sounds super cool. In terms of influences, I guess I was going to ask about. Obviously, with possession and exorcism films, we've had a few eras, really, haven't we? We've had a few eras of that, like from the 70s through to the 80s, mid 2000s as well. And I guess like now, modern possession films are very different to anything that's come before. Was there anything in particular that influenced you? Was there anything in terms of modern horror or in terms of like classic horror that you were really leaning into when you were making this?
Um, Obviously, on the technical aspect of it, there's two aspects. There's the story aspect and the technical aspect. On the technical aspect, there's not a lot of old movies. Maybe the Russian Ark, so that was very, very interesting
Hmm.
to watch, just because they really made it in a way that it's just crazy in that museum. It's like just nuts the way they did it. Obviously, again, one shot film. Yeah, you study what you have in that what you can find basically in the horror. There's not a lot. Yes, there's a lot of fine footage who do that kind of trick, but it's
Hmm.
not like on the slick way because no, the movie is pretty polished. Okay, the way that I did it, that was the idea of that dreamy floating camera, like super smooth. That's part of the
Hmm.
uh, whole idea. And the other movies, when you have like that, is like kind of a big budget thing, like 1917 and Birdman and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
studied those things because I did it in the same technique that as they did, as a
Yeah.
technical point of view,
Impressive, yeah.
but with $2. Basically, this is what I did. So how do
That
you
was
do
the
that?
budget.
Yeah,
Got to start
sorry,
squeezing the dollars a bit more. And I said that was the budget, was it? Not.
$2.
I'm
I squeeze
joking.
every dollars. Hey, have a good
Yeah, it
producer.
was. Sorry, no, it was £2. It was £2,
It was
so that's
£2.
about
But
$18,000.
yeah, yeah, that's about right. Slightly more. Ever so
But on the
slightly more.
technical aspect, that was more my influence. Um, but on the story aspect, is more like those classic things, like Amityville Horror and the movie
Hmm.
Possession itself. So with Sam Neill and
Oh yeah. Great film, yeah.
so me, I'm more on drawn on those things because more on Possession side, more modern movies. It's more they lean more toward exorcism more
Yeah.
than
Yeah, yeah,
real
you're right.
possession film because possession film is more and the genre is more like um, okay, I am this person at the beginning and at the ending I'm becoming that person and you see the evolution of
Hmm.
how they become that. You can do it like in a drama way and just like going piece by piece, normal movie. But if you don't want to do it like in 80 something minutes in continuity, you need to go like, okay, she's already possessed, let's go. Boom, and we need to move forward very, very
Mm.
fast. So it's more like in the movie Possession, that movie that you can see clearly the possession, that's happening along the way,
Sure, sure.
by the pace, basically. So that was more my influence in the old 70s uh, uh, classic, possession
Yeah.
genre. You can find.
Amazing. So obviously we've got the FrightFest Glasgow world premiere coming up just next month, early next month. It's on the 6th of March, isn't it? I think your film's being shown. Are you both looking forward to that? Of course, you said, Adam, your previous film, Mom, did premiere there as well. So yeah, what are you expecting? Are you excited for the event?
Oh, very excited, very excited. We really, really, really enjoyed that festival. The people are great, great crowd, great place, and I think the experience is going to be great. So it's so different. Also for people who knew who come from 2 years ago with mom, and now they're going to see that. It's just say, okay, that's two different things. So
Yeah.
obviously, we come from like two different places, like two very, very different places, and that would be great to to
I
go
think it's
back.
great. It's great when audiences get a chance to see a returning filmmaker at the event. I definitely always enjoy that, being able to see like, oh, I like that film. Let's see what's next. Let's see, and you're almost like enjoying the trajectory of that person's career as well. So it's always fun, and yeah, Glasgow is always a good place for horror movies to be hosted, I believe.
Scotland's the best. Madly in love with Scotland and its people
Yeah,
and its
absolutely.
whiskey.
And it's whiskey, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's important as well, isn't it? I mean, my co-host Andy, he lives in Scotland, so he's the lucky one. But yeah, it's always a great place to be. How about after that? Any for audiences after the premiere? Have you got any other events lined up? Any other festivals lined up? And do you have any ideas of when this could be available for wider audiences eventually?
We have a meeting actually right after this with our sales agent
Oh,
to
okay.
find out all of that info. So as soon as we find out, we're hoping to let the public know.
Brilliant, amazing. Well, we will absolutely keep our audiences informed of that news when people are going to be able to see it. Hopefully, if some of our audiences are attending Fright Fest Glasgow, they'll have enjoyed this little insight into the making of the film. So, thank you both very, very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure finding out about Bury the Devil. Congratulations again on the film, and of course, good luck with the premiere.
Thank you so
Thank
much, man.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thanks for taking the time and for your interest. We were excited to talk to you.
Not a problem at all. It's an absolute pleasure. Thanks again.